Hey guys, if you have a Maxwell, I believe it's 600, this is an 800 model, and I believe the 1000 all usually have the same gear set on them. Don't quote me on the 600, but I believe it does. Anyway, there's a rebuild kit that you can buy, a new seal kit for them, okay? And it's very common for the 90 weight gear oil to leak out of them on this bottom side here. It'll either leak out of there or where the motor mounts onto. And then when that leaks out, then these things can bind up or just destroys your gears and you're done. Hopefully you get lucky enough to catch it in time. Or if you see it leaking oil, get in and replace them right away, because this is $600 alone just for this piece. So anyway, how does this thing go together? Well, you'll notice in here, there's when you pull this off of your top side of your windlass, this bolts together, and you'll notice this sits this is on the top side. This right here is on the top side of the, on the underside of the boat, up in your anchor locker, and these teeth will lock in with teeth on for the top side piece of the windlass. All right, there is a screw piece here, cap that comes down and screws onto this to hold it in place. Note that is reverse threaded. Okay, when you got the cap loosened, which hangs on the top piece, this gear set will not drop down as of yet. On this side, you'll see the shaft that comes through. You'll have a snap ring that goes in right here, and a little, almost like cotter key type thing that you have like on your props of your boat. Okay, so remove that snap ring, and then after you've had that top screw cap loose, you should be able to start pulling down on this. Do not beat on it with a hammer. Don't pry at it too hard, because you don't want to damage stuff, right? But pull down on it. And as you're pulling down it, then put your finger and kind of hold that key in there so you don't lose that key. And then, put that key in a safe place after you get this loose. Now you're at a point where you get this thing home, right? And you want to put new seals in it. And you'll notice that you'll have Allen nuts, or bolts, I should say, that are in here. What you do is you take all 4 of those out. Then when you flip this over, this cap here will come off. On this cap, you'll notice that there's a oil seal sitting in here, and it's already been removed on this because it's already started a rebuild process. But there's 2 matching seals. It's this one here, and then the other one goes on the back side on the gear set here. But you want to be able to remove that one, and when you remove it, be damn careful not to damage that brass down in there. What I did was just take these cutters right here and went in there and cut it, and then when I flipped it over, I was able to go in here with a punch at an angle very carefully and tap it loose and get it out of there. Okay, so that's one seal you have to replace. Also in this cap, you'll notice there's an O-ring that you can easily miss. That comes in a kit too, so replace that O-ring. Then coming over to here, you have your worm wheel, as they call it. That pops out of there. Then you have your worm gear. Now mine's a little chewed up because of the oil was gone and it bound. So literally some of the brass had welded inside of this stainless steel worm gear, and I had to go and use my grinder on it. So it's not the prettiest looking, but it'll be functional again. When you go to remove, remove the shaft to be able to clean out this case. You're going to find that on this side is a viewing window, which is this guy right here with an O-ring. You get a new one of those as well. And you'll see you have your shaft inside there with a bearing. Whatever you do, do not hit that with a punch or a hammer until you come over to this side. You'll have another oil seal sitting inside of here. And it'll look pretty nasty, pretty rough. It's going to be, let me see where I've got it sitting down here. Right here. It'll be sitting down in here, and you won't be able to see the snap rings that are down here that actually hold this shaft in. So what I did, so I didn't beat up, because of the tight fit on that oil seal, and I didn't want to beat up the edge of the shaft, because if I scratch it, there's a good chance that it's going to leak again, right? So what I did is when that seal was sitting in there, I actually had taken a flat screwdriver. I'm just going to use this Phillips for instance, and what I did is I went in down here in the shear pin slot and then pried it out. That made it easy to pop out without scratching anything up. Now that I got that out, you'll see you have 2 snap rings in here. One that's around the shaft that holds the bearing in place, and then a secondary, larger one on the outside. You don't need to take the inside one out. Take the outside one out. That'll allow the shaft and with all the bearings to come out. So when you flip, once you've taken that out, you flip this over, then you take a center punch with a hammer and then tap it down and the whole thing will pop out. Then clean up all your parts and then kind of reverse engineer it, right? Shaft goes back in, put the outer sap ring in, your new seal, which mine is right here, will get tapped into there. You'll have a new seal that's tapped in here already, but you'll tap one in there. And then, as I said, again, that seal that goes in there. Put your new viewing window cap on, and then make sure that you put 90 weight oil back in it again. Reassemble it, and you should be good to go. Thank you.